That was going to be my next.
And then good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dr. Dave. Where are you going?
Good
Like I'm
morning.
gonna slip out of
Just,
here incognito, just gonna head out the bottom of my
I was like,
screen.
ah, I was like, what? I just realized that I forgot to do something with the computer, so I was like,
Oh,
ah, I was trying to get it before you went live, but hi, here we are, back to our shenanigans.
yes, we are, and
Good
it's
morning.
Monday morning. So how are you today,
So
Dr.
fun.
Dave?
Really, really great. And the biggest reason why is because I get to see you again.
I know it's been so long. We've been messaging back and forth, but it's been so long since we've seen each other face to face. So it's really nice to be able to get back and get into the swing of things again. And yeah, so I am very excited to be here too, because we get to play and have
Yay.
fun and laugh and lots of laughing, lots of
Mm,
shenanigans. So
absolutely.
we
Wouldn't
are
have it any other way.
starting with conversations with the divas, and we're just gonna shuffle these up and see what the divas have to say today as we go into spring, which is really exciting. So nice to see all
For
the spring
sure.
flowers out and sunshine
Yes. New life.
and warm weather here
Mm,
and there.
amen. It's not the white stuff. I'm good.
Yes, no shoveling involved. All right. No, we're just going to pick three. So our first one is basil. Second one is celery seed. And third one is nutmeg. Mm-mm-mm. So
Ooh.
our first one is basil, and that lets us know that represents what resources we have right now. So as before, I read what the plant's message is for us, and then go into chatting about this. And Dr. Dave and I go into it a little bit further and explain the oils and whatnot if you're here just for the first time. And yeah, so here we go. So, water is the most important element for life on Mother Earth. When we are hydrated, thinking is clear and sharp. Our focus is strong and on point. It is time to ask yourself, am I drinking enough water each day? I am basil. As a plant, I require water regularly or I will wilt. The human body is comprised of 80% water, which requires daily hydration as well. Make a commitment to listen to your body's need for water. Headaches, feeling of hunger, and low energy can all be signs of dehydration. Honor your body and all it does by hydrating your body. Drink at least a couple 8-ounce glasses of water per day. Your body counts on you. So I got mine.
Mine's flavored.
Oh, fancy. So yes, resources that we have right now is the ability to take care of our body. And how we take care of our body is very, very important because this is where we live. And if we didn't have this, we wouldn't be able to live anywhere. So when we think of honoring our body, just from my healing journey for the last year, it's coming up, it's almost been a year, April 30th. And I found that giving yourself grace, drinking lots of water is really, really important, but then honoring how you're feeling. If you need to rest, you rest. You don't keep barreling through like a bulldozer, just, I got to get through this. I got to get this done. If your body's like, you know what? You need to sit down now and rest. You need to listen to that because your body will take you out at the knees. I've had it happen and it's not
Yes.
fun. And,
Nope.
and eat things that are going to nourish you. Whole foods, colorful foods, not Skittles, no Skittles.
You,
But
not
yes,
that rainbow.
no, not that rainbow, but a rainbow of whole foods like red
Right.
peppers and green, dark green, lettuce, and like there's just so many different things out there, and fruits. And now that everything's coming into season again, it's a great time to, can these things so that you have them for the times when they're not in season. And
Hmm.
so it's really, really important to drink your water because you do get dehydrated. And if you find that you're slowing down mid-afternoon, it's because you're thirsty. And it's really important to keep that up. And I used to have trouble drinking all that water, but now, and it fills you up too. So if you've got cravings and things like that, water actually fills you up so that you're not hungry all the time, which is awesome. Dr. Dave.
Oh, Basil, um, it's incredible. Um, One of the things that I'm trying to think there, I don't really remember it very prominent in the foods that our family fixes. Um, and I'm not opposed to it, but it's not something that was in a lot of foods. But the emotional component for basil, it's in our literature, it's called the renewal essential oil. Mm, How appropriate, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it's spring. So,
Yep.
and we know if we just think about the what happens in spring is we've got to get everything ready for, the new growth and everything else. Well, our body's exactly the same. So we need to get it properly hydrated after this dehydration process that has potentially happened throughout the entire winter. And so it's that renewal. And we know that just like if you think of a sponge, your body's kind of like that. And so when you have more water and you add the adequate water, then it can function the way that it's supposed to. Um, I've said this before in my massage practice. A lot of my clients called me the water Nazi because I would drill it every single day, every single session, and I made sure that they literally had a bottle of water on their way out the door. Because at that point, I told them, if you call me tomorrow and tell me that you're sick, that you've got because of the toxin release or you're really sore, first question I'm going to ask is how much water did you increase? And if that isn't past the bottle that you walked out of my office with, I offer no apologies. That's a you problem. Nope. Um, in in real terms, especially now, when that standard was set for eight ounce glasses of water, that was set long time ago, 1930 something, I believe. Maybe it was 45, something like that. People were a little different makeup then. Our foods were way different then, so
Mhm.
you didn't necessarily require that much more because you would be able to get it in your environment and within your foods. That is not the case today. And so there always needs to be a supplementation of water, hydration. The real equation that we're supposed to use is your weight divided by 2, and then it's that many ounces per day minimum for your
Wow.
body to work on its most operable efficient way. Minimal. So a lot of folks like, oh my God. I'm like, right. So even though you may not be coming close to that, but realize how much you actually are deficient in it. So even just one more glass, one more bottle a day will start significantly changing everything. And it's so important to stay on that regiment. And I won't get into that whole, if you anybody needs to know or want to know about the whole scenario about why 11 days is super important to stay on a new regiment of anything, and that it creates that the brain chemistry change as a pattern. But just trust me, in 11 days is super important. Stay on it. Give yourself that promise of self-discipline for 11 days. I promise you, you will absolutely feel so much better and different by the 11th day. If we look at it being basil, being about that replenishment and helping us with the hydration and that renewal, if it's doing its job with the renewal, and now we're flushing out any and all of these stuff that would no longer serve us, well, we have to have a sewer system that is taking out of our body system. Well, a dry sewer doesn't work.
Mhm.
Sorry for the visual. Sorry for anybody that happens to be eating while they're listening or watching this. Not really sorry, but it gets the point across pretty clear, right? So you got to stay hydrated. And on the emotional causation of using basil, basil is inviting us to make sure that we're allowing the flow of emotions. Everything that has happened throughout our winter or that shadow time of replenishing and hibernating and all of that, if we don't have the adequate movement of our emotion and letting that flow through us, then we just have stagnation. Stagnation then starts to become concrete. Concrete is a weight. So normally a lot of folks in our culture w- w- they gain weight during the winter months, and now it's time to get fresh and move and everything else. So if you don't have that hydration, then we're not going to be able to release any of those things that no longer serve us. I might have said that before. So
Once or
it's
twice.
super important. So as we keep that hydration, basil is there to help us with that process and make it much more efficient and palatable. That was fun. Basil's making it palatable. Huh. That's fun. So it's super important. And I love that. Like, thank the Devas for bringing that first on our list of upkeep. And it's a
Yeah.
great reminder because that's nothing that should ever change. Hydration is never about thirst. It is always about maintenance. Same as if you think of that as hydration is the same kind of as gasoline in our car
Mhm.
or petrol for some folks. It's you don't wait till you're out of gas to fill
Mhm.
up. And if you did, well, that's a you problem.
Yep.
Because we shouldn't be doing that. In water is the same. If we could think of it in those terms, well, I'm gonna go in the terms of making sure that before we go on a trip, we usually fill up and we're ready to go. Well, if we're going to have an event in our life, so whether it be a sports event or anything that we're going to encounter that's a little bit above and beyond what we normally do, then we want to make sure that we've got a full tank. So that's super crazy important. I hope that folks realize that it's not just something that, oh, I should do that more. It's not that really. It really is super important. So think of it as that gasoline because your body will not work. It will eventually corrode itself because we're not getting rid of all of those toxins and everything else. And basil is there to help you make that easier transition so that it is much more tolerable. And it does the most effective thing. The basil will go in and help you release any of those things that no longer serve you. So,
Awesome.
and there we have it.
Thank you. So celery seed, this position represents what we need to release. So let's see what else we need to release today. It's always
Oh,
something to release here and there.
of course.
Breathe in, filling your lungs with fresh, clean air. Release feelings of hurt, unworthiness, or tiredness from believing you are not enough. Feel your body clearing of any fog or murkiness. I'm celery seed, and my seeds are many, just as ripples in a pool appear when there is movement on the surface. No one knows where these ripples will end or whose lives they will touch on the way. As you live your life, each action and reaction will ripple out like my seeds blowing on a breeze, just as others' actions have affected your life and those around you. Ooh, I like this one. This one goes nicely with basil, doesn't it?
Absolutely sure does. I was
So,
like, yeah, of course you guys did. That's awesome.
so for releasing, as Dr. Dave said, releasing those emotions, releasing the heaviness of winter where we hibernate and we look within and we eat more, we eat those comfort foods and those heavier foods. And now it's all about releasing. And a lot of us, even I feel that way sometimes, and I'm sure you do too, that you're not enough. You always get that niggling, you try something new and then it's like, ooh, should I really be doing that? I don't know if I'm qualified or I should be able to talk about that or whatever the case may be. And spring is all about springing into action and looking at the new year and being excited about all the wonderful things that are happening and coming up this year. So if you've got goals, which I hope everybody does, because we've talked about this quite a few times,
A
but
few.
when you have those goals, you get those niggling, you get those ego chatters going, what do you think you're doing? You can't do that, and all those different things. And those are things to release because they're definitely not true. We are beings of light, and we all came here to share our knowledge with the world. So whatever you're passionate about, whatever you love to do, and you get right into it and just time flies by, that's what you're to be teaching. That's what you're to be sharing with others because nobody can share it quite like you. And so it's really important not to hold back and listen to that ego. It's time to release that. And you do that by drinking a lot of water, because when you drink a lot of water, you have clarity, you have focus, breathing deep, breathing into the sunshine, stepping outside, facing towards the sun, and breathing in the sun is going to clear all that foggy and murkiness from the winter. And it really does a body good. Like you only need a couple of minutes for your body just to feel rejuvenated and clear. And it really does help figure out, okay, this is where I'm going. You don't need to listen to those ego nattering away because it's bullshit. I'm laying it on the line. It's bull. I call bullshit on that because it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you don't need to listen to it. If you think of all the great inventors in the world and electricity, if uh, Edison decided, like, well, I tried once and, who am I? I'm not a professional. I don't know too much about this. What if he didn't do anything? Where would we be now? That's a very good question. You might want to think on that. How about the person that
Absolutely.
invented plumbing, indoor plumbing? You work on it till
Thank
you
you.
figure it out. Yes, thank you very much.
Yes.
So, all these different people kept going, even though there was barriers in their way or it didn't work. It's like, no, I'm going to figure this out until it does. And thank goodness they did, because we have all our modern conveniences because of them. And
Right.
who knows what you are going to bring to this world to help change the world when you have that drive and that passion to keep going. Just think
Right.
about that. How many lives you're going to be able to change by what you do. and what you share with the world. I think that's pretty cool. So releasing all that, well, I'm not good enough or I can't do that, because yes, you can. The world is waiting for you to,
Yeah.
and there's specific people that will resonate with what you have to share, and they can only understand and hear it from you for them to be able to then go and do what they need to do. So it's a chain reaction. Those ripples go out. You start a ripple and it touches all these people, then they start, and it just keeps going out, and it's all ripples. So please remember that. Dr. Dave.
Wow, that was perfect. Thank you
Oh,
so
thank
much.
you.
That was absolutely perfect. You hit all the points that I was thinking about. So yay! I
Great
love
minds
being on
think
the same
alike.
page. It's so great. It's almost like there's a script or something, but there isn't. It's
Yes,
just the universal script.
exactly.
Uh, well, first, thinking about celery seed, but not just the seed itself, but looking at what we know of celery. What is celery? It holds all the water. I mean, that's
It does.
pretty much it. So I'm like, hello. It brings it to you. So it works in partnership with being able to get that detox process. So it brings the materials and helps with that. So make a celery and basil sandwich. Ooh, I don't know how that would go, but
Well, I've heard
energetically.
that celery juice is very, very good for detoxing
Oh,
and healing. So maybe make
yeah,
celery juice with some basil in it rather than a
absolutely.
sandwich.
And then whatever else you need to do to make that tolerable in your smoothie. Yep.
Sure.
Um, celery seed, that's, 2 points. One is that partnership. Um, Celery seed not only is that partner in the water process, the replenishing, the detoxing and everything, but it's also giving us a wonderful example of partnership in all the healing tools and the way that we work together and all the chemicals, all of the systems, everything together work all together. So reminding ourselves that it's a team effort within our own being. So even celery seed is in it's not just the individual's job, it's working in that symphony of our entire body system. So knowing that you're not alone in your detox process, whatever kind of detox that is, whether it's releasing emotion, whether it's releasing, you know, um, toxins, chemical toxins, and those things within. But even most, to me, most importantly, I think, is the emotional detox that needs to happen on a regular basis for us. What patterns are no longer serving us? What self-talk is no longer serving us?
Mm.
Because if we could do a a detox on that chatter that happens in our head, huh, okay, I don't like this theme that's happening today, but it's what we're doing. Um, so I just saw this image of thinking about your emotions in a commode, making sure that you're flushing it. Let it go.
Let it go.
Sing the song if you must, but
Whatever you need to
but
do.
it's but it's really because holding it, what does it do? One, it stinks up the place. Two, it's not it starts festering and creates a whole host of issues. And so in our body, that is exactly what it's doing. So it's creating more and more problems if you just don't let it go. The what was the other point? There was hmm, I guess we'll come back to it if it floats back in. But I
Let
just
it
really
go.
right. Thank you for
You're welcome.
that. I celery seed. It's really odd. That's actually a scent that I actually like, which is super weird because I don't like those kind of scents.
Hmm,
I just don't. But
interesting.
that's one that is it's a it's kind of a fresh, but it's super airy light to me. And to me, that's what it represents is that that's how we're going to be if we choose to partnership with Celery to release that anything that's not serving us. And there might be a theme there too. We've
Hmm.
got lots of tools, just have to use them. And you know that one of my favorite sayings is that the essential oils, they don't work in the bottle.
Nope,
So got to use it.
absolutely.
And you don't have to even take it internally or put it in your food. If you can just simply smell it because it is about the intention, and we have the olfactory system is going to let us do all the work. So not even applying it, just by literally smelling it, can begin that process of that partnership of working with all of the other resources our body has to be able to have that detox process happen. So,
Absolutely. Yes,
ta-da!
essential oils are wonderful to use on a regular basis.
Yep,
Mhm.
daily. That's
So
just
our
me.
last one is nutmeg, and this is how all this is going to manifest out. So let's see. I'm spicy, and I like to kick things up a notch. If you notice, my fruit is enveloped in an outer shell that protects. This is something I offer you as well. My outer shell envelops like a great big hug, giving encouragement. You've got this. You can do it. I believe in you. Sometimes you need to take a leap. Be a bit spontaneous and see what happens. Are you being too serious? Not taking time for fun or to experience joy? I'm here to give you permission to take some time for you. Spice up your life a little. Do something outside your comfort zone. Remember, I am with you, offering encouragement, and I am ready with a warm, comforting hug before you begin the next step. Well, that's so nice.
Wow. And
So,
it's
Nutmeg
so,
saying,
so true.
hey, step outside, stretch that comfort zone, release the stuff with celery seed that you aren't enough. Just let it go. Drink that water in, get that clarity, get that focus, release and let go of all that is not serving you and who you are becoming. Because each day, each choice you make, you are becoming that person you want to be. Or you might just be stuck where you are. Hopefully, you're moving towards the person you want to be. But with nutmeg, what it's saying is, hey, I've got you. Same with the universe. The universe is like, I've got your back. You're good. We want you to step outside that comfort zone, because that's when you grow. That's when you transform. If you stay within that comfort zone, it's very, very small and you don't transform. You just stay exactly the way you are. But the more you step out, the bigger that comfort zone gets, and the easier it is to do things that you never thought possible before. I think I've said this before when I was going to do Facebook Lives for the first time. I was terrified. 3 months. I built this up in my mind that it was going to be horrific and horrible, and the anxiety was through the roof. Then I decided, okay, because my friend's like, you have to get out there. You need to do this. So she was like nattering in my brain in a good way that I need to do this, because she was helping me to, expand my business and be seen. So having that in your ear every day gets a little annoying after a while. But anyways, I made the date. Then a whole bunch of stuff happened where I didn't know what I was doing and it didn't work out well. And that just, it's like, oh, it figures, so I've told everybody I'm going to be on Facebook Live, and then everybody's like, where are you? We're here. We don't see you. Bing, 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 bing. And I'm trying to figure out how to go live on Facebook. So yeah, it was a shit show. And so it's like, okay. So I'm like, all right, way to go, Brenda. You and technology, super. But I laughed and it's like, okay, well, that's right up my alley because that's, of course, that's how it's going to go. So my friend helped me figure out how to go live, which is a lot easier on your phone than it is on the computer. Um, but got it done. And after it, I'm like, that was it. Are you kidding me? I waited 3 months and got so much anxiety, and that's all it was. And it wasn't a big deal, but your ego is like, oh, we don't want to do that because people are going to say this and that. Meanwhile, they're not. Everybody was very generous and very graceful. And, it's like, hey, those things happen. So, and you're showing that you're human. You don't have to be perfect. You're trying new things like everybody else is. And it's like, hey, they tried something. Maybe I can try something. And you just put it out there. And if it doesn't work, all right, well, we'll try something else. But you take the time to find the humor because it's like, my friend would watch my Facebook lives and she's like, I can see up your nose. You might want to change the angle of the camera. You gotta do it this way. And so, like, I'm seeing these as I'm talking, her pop ups, and it's like, thank you, Vanessa. And she was I love my twin, I tell you. But yeah, she's very helpful, but she would let me know so I would adjust and things as I'm talking. And now it's like, yeah, I can do Facebook Lives. Yeah, I can talk. And I used to be terrified to talk in front of people. If there was more than two people, I wasn't talking in front of anybody. Terrified. I was absolutely terrified. And I got over that as well. So now it's not a big deal. And it's so nice to not have that lump in your solar plexus that's like, I'm not doing that. It's just like, yeah, sure, I can do that because I've stretched that comfort zone and I've done those uncomfortable things that it's not a big deal anymore. And it never was. My ego made it a big thing. So using the nutmeg, if you are going to be doing a big thing and you're really, really nervous, breathe in the nutmeg beforehand. And really cool story. My friend that I used to work with at the nonprofit agency that I worked at, she was going to be speaking in front of 10,000 people the one day and it was going to be televised and she was terrified. And I don't blame her. It's like, whoo, that's a lot of people in one room. And they were all in, like, she was going to be standing in the stage and 10,000 people. And she's like, I'm terrified. And so I gave her the nutmeg. I'm like, just breathe this in. And she went out and she rocked it. And she was awesome. And she's like, that was awesome. So just that little bit of breathing that in gives you the strength to know that the universe has got your back. And you've got this. This is what you were created to come down and decided to do down here. But with all the beliefs and all the nonsense that we've gotten over the years, we've forgotten those things. So letting those things go, letting all those woulda, shoulda, couldas, and all those things that were piled on us that don't serve us and are not part of who we are, which is a being of light, then you can start to see how really awesome you are and that really anything that you do is pretty easy once you get out of your own way. Dr. Dave,
Hmm. Oh, wonderfully done.
thank
Love
you.
that. That was great. Oh, that was so good. Uh, it, I think if most folks can recall, well, I guess in I'll do our culture in North America. Um, Nutmeg is where do you find it? It's almost always in comfort foods, whether it's
Mhm.
pie or if it's even a latte. It's usually one of those things that it's a comfort type of thing, and that's because that is what that. plant and oil does is create that. So we already are familiar with that part of it, just might not have put it together that that's the job of nutmeg. And so I would invite folks to remember that's what it is, and now start using it very differently. So bring that into all of those spaces that you could use some grounding with that hug. Like it's a hug in a bottle is
Yeah.
pretty much what I heard. From your team, your spirit guides, your universe, your creator, fill in the blank, whatever you want, but it's that reminding you that you're not alone and we got this. The most important word in that statement is we. You're
Mhm.
not alone. We got this, meaning the universe, the all of creation is with you if you allow it and invite it.
Yeah.
So making sure we have that invitation extended so that we can feel that. And we know our team, our spiritual team, whether it's your the angels that work with you, the animals that work with you, whatever that is for you, know that they can't do anything with you or for you until you give that invitation. Making sure, because we have free will, that is one of those universal principles that we have as humans, is we have that free will. So they are eager and they're on the unemployment line if you don't ask them. Right? So
Absolutely.
so please invite them, especially when now looking at nutmeg very differently. And this one actually is very new to me, thinking of it as an essential oil. I've
Mm,
never actually, until literally you brought it up, I'm like, what? Whoa. So I'm like, this is great. I actually did not, of course it is. Of course it's an oil. It's just we didn't have it in the company that I work with. So I started looking, I'm like, oh, looking it up and thinking about it and having to um, go through that normal process in my head of okay, what is the plant? What does it do? What does it produce? Where's it grown? Or all of those things, because that is the metaphors for everything, the qualities that it will help bring to you. That's its medicine, if you will,
yeah.
its teaching. And nutmeg is that it's really a fine, it laser cuts to helping you release doubt and resistance. Is
Oh, look at
its
that. More releasing. Hmm.
right? It's superpower. And a hug does the same.
Yeah.
It helps you let go of the the doubt that you might have because somebody's there and they see you. And they're letting you know that they recognize, no, I'm here, I see you. And then the resistance of moving in and out of some of those comfort zones and into your excellence. um, Stepping into that place so that you can actually shine the best that you can,
Mhm.
that you can, and that you want to, because you know deep in that that's what I'm supposed to be doing. That's a mission that I took on that I want to be in my world. Nutmeg will do all of those things to help give you that foundation and hold your back, so to speak, so you're not falling anywhere. We got you. Now you just do you. We
Yeah.
got this. Um, Aw, this is one of my new favorites. I and I love nutmeg. I've always loved it, but I thank you
You're
for
welcome.
introducing me to this oil as an oil. So, oh, yeah, love it. They're so good. Um, as always, and yep, always, the divas line us up for this incredible teaching and show. It's just phenomenal how it happens.
It
Like,
is.
because you do the three cards, and we know those positions, what they represent. And I always feel like they're punking us because it's like, watch this one. And then we read the next one, and then the next one. I'm like, oh, of course. And then stay tuned for the next half hour because we're
Mhm.
really going to dive in. And you're like, of course, that's what you said.
And it
It's so
wraps it
fun.
up with a bow.
Yep. Ah, it's so great. I love it. So if if folks are new, like I am, to looking at nutmeg as an essential oil in those properties, then I would really love to hear what everybody's experience is and how they recognize it, um, what it has represented in their lives, and then, really importantly, how you plan to use it as one of your wonderful tools that you can reach deep in to help you navigate the rest of your day or the process that you're going through as you're releasing those toxins. But remember, its superpower is releasing doubt and releasing resistance. And if we do all the work beforehand with basil and celery seed, of course we come to the place that's going to move next of where we're going to go or where we can be if we have those two things taken out or we've worked on releasing doubt and resistance, because then we're now just clearing the palette so we can be the masterpiece. So I
Absolutely.
really
Ooh, very well said. I like that.
love to hear, thank you, really love to hear everybody's process with that in their um, experiences with nutmeg. And now I'm trying to, in my head, I'm going through the Rolodex, and for those younger folks, that would be a database, if you will, of people of who I've encountered in my life that don't like nutmeg, because that just tells
Mm.
us so much more. I'm like,
Mhm.
all right, who was that? Oh, I got you. So it's a wonderful addition to start looking through that lens. I love it. So thank you so much. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for these cards, and helping us walk through this so incredible, magical thing that we have literally in our hands. Speaking of, how do we get those cards in our hands, by the way?
You can email me at brenda@essenceofyou.ca and send me your information, and I can get the cards out to you that way. So there's the backs of them. And yeah, there's 53 cards in here. So there's lots and lots of oils that you can, yeah, it's just easy to pick one per day, just a way to start your day, breathe in the oil, and then begin your day in a more positive way. So it's pretty awesome.
One of the things that I really love about working with the cards is that it takes a lot of the resistance and fear out of working with oils for a lot of folks, because good Lord, there is so much information about each one of them, what they do, what one to use for this, what to that. And so this is just a wonderful, easy way to just let's just cut through all the crap that you're saying you don't know, so you don't have to use this tool, which means you're not responsible for the outcome, is really what you're saying. Just pick a damn card
That's pretty much
and
it.
you're on your
There's
way.
exercises in there. So there's the top part, which is the plant speaking to you and what the plant and the essential oil can do. And then there's either a meditation or an exercise and then an affirmation to go with it for the day. So there's different things you can do. It takes maybe about 5 minutes to do the whole thing, and you've got a different perspective on your life. And it's
Absolutely.
interesting if if you start this process. I did essential oils for a year. I would use essential oils every day and the same one for a week, and then go on to a next one. So I had 52 different oils that I used. And by the end of that year, my life did not look the same. But I didn't realize it moving through it. It wasn't till I looked back to see where I had been and the beliefs and the thoughts I had, and what was then now possible, and how my comfort zone had expanded. And it was huge. And that's why I created these cards, because the essential oils changed my life. But working with them and getting my first package of them, I'm like, oh my goodness, what do I do with them now? I don't know. Created the Oracle card. So that was easy enough to shuffle a card because I love my Oracle cards. Shuffle a card, pick a card, breathe in that essential oil, do the exercise, and on with your day. So it just makes it just starts your day in a really nice way, which is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. That's it's so easy and effortless. I mean, it's phenomenal that it's just that simple, that we can start using. I don't know if that's changing on there. I'm trying to
It
show everybody
is.
your
We're
card.
in the jungle.
How about now?
We're still in the jungle.
Seriously?
Yep. You started screen sharing for some
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah. I was trying to, where is it?
You got a parrot in there.
Stand by. It is.
So, do you have anything else to add to the cards today, Dr. Dave?
Um, no, I think it pretty much tells the story, really, what we've gone through, and putting it all together is critical of being able to get to see and how it's going to work in your life. And that's really the most important thing that we're always trying to work for is to bring that all these wonderful tools
Mm-hmm.
to help you with wherever you happen to be, whatever you're doing in your life. And so it's not that big, scary place.
Yep.
So, and just like the cards, like we said about the oils, the cards, they don't work in the box or in the bag until you use them. So
Yep.
it's not scary. So it's just a helper for us to get out of our own way. So, yay. That's all I
Absolutely.
got. Thank you so, so much for letting me join you. And thank you again for this wonderful gift of being able to do this incredible walk and journey through our essential oils.
Well, thank you for being here. It's always so much fun to hang out and play because that's what life's all
Absolutely.
about, just playing and having fun and learning new things and sharing. So, thank you for sharing your knowledge on the essential oils. And yeah, I think we make a pretty good team.
Absolutely. I concur.
Mhm.
Indubitably.
So stay tuned. We're going to be back and we're going to be talking about what if and positive possibilities. And it's always fun to see how it ties in with the nature's divas because it always does. So if
For
you're,
sure.
we'd love to hear what resonated with you today and where you are in the world. And yeah, just shoot us a message and let us know where you're watching from and yeah, what resonated with you today. And we'll see you next week.
And remember, it's super easy to share it. So there's always that little share button. Send it to the folks that don't know or might be able to gain some of the the tools that you're just learning or walking through. So please share.
Absolutely. Thank you for mentioning that. Well, have a wonderful day
Hmm.
wherever you are, and we will talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.